Hello Zoe, today is Saturday, November 7th, October. It is October, it is not November, it is not December, it is October 17th, 2015. I remembered that part of the date with no problem. I remembered the day and the year with no problem. Actually, I generally remember the year with no problem, but I'm really bad at the day, despite I can just add 7 to, last week, but I have to check, and normally I have to, edit out me, pushing the home button on my phone and being like, what is the date? Oh, the date is whatever the date is. In this case, it's the 17th. But this time, I remembered that it was October 17th. But I remembered that it was the 17th, but I forgot that it was October. And I screwed it up. But I find it far too entertaining to take out. Especially because now I've taken a minute of video. Anyway, what I really want to talk to you about, Zoe, is the American Revolution, as in, that time in 1776, and a few years afterward, where, the colonies decided to be like, yo, Britain, we don't like you anymore. We're gonna go, you're gonna go away, we're gonna be our own thing. Except that isn't really what they said. The British were all like, yo, you need to pay for the French and Indian War, which we call the 7 Years' War because it lasted 9 years, and the colonies were all like, no. And they were all like, well, in that case, we are going to tax you anyway. And then most of the people in the colonies were like, whatever, this isn't going to affect me. But the rich merchants were like, oh no, you're going to tax all of my merchandise. I have to fight back. And then because of what they did, which was the Boston Tea Party, a lot of other stuff happened, and it ended up with the colonies rising up and fighting the British Army, which didn't really have the time or money to put into this fight, but the rich merchants of the colonies had riled up the colonies so much that they were willing to put in all of the time, all of the money, all of the effort, and all of the lives that it took to win. Plus, then later they got help from, France, which was really useful because France lost the French and Indian War to the British, so they were really happy to, help the colonies give Britain a bloody nose. Anyway, that happened, and basically, in the end, America shrugged off its taxes from overseas and beat back the evil British so that it could replace the rich, land-owning, white, male elite with rich, land-owning, white, male elite on this side of the Atlantic Ocean. Because that was so much better. Some of the signers of the Constitution and of the Declaration of Independence were really liberal, even a little liberal by our standards today, and we're all like, yo, the slaves should be freed, but then, most were like, no, we need to, and to be fair, they were right, they were like, we need to focus on gaining independence first, we need to focus on establishing a sort of government before we worry about giving people more rights. And to be fair, they were right. They did need to do that first. But because they put it off, it got put off freaking indefinitely. Some of these liberals were even Southerners, which is crazy because they really wanted slavery and they weren't a big fan of women's rights in general. But, because they decided not to do it right now, it would not happen for hundreds of years, and because of that, all of our entire society has been set back at least a century in terms of equal rights for everybody, which is pretty crazy. And so, I just had to tell you about that, Zoe. Goodbye.